Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Jason Mackey's First 10, a quick hit podcast to get you ready for the day and a good week, a good Monday to you. We're going to talk about a few different things, big picture wise, starting today. Actually, a little Pirates development talk. Also, Steelers minicamp gets going in the middle part of the week, and we'll wrap up a pretty good homestand for the local 9 as well. Some storylines to get into there. First, want to remind you that we're sponsored by the North Shore Tavern. You don't have to be a baseball fan to love it there, but the interior is wall-to-wall Pirates. Their appetizers, entrees, cocktails, and of course, steak and seafood on a sizzling lava stone. Open every day. The North Shore Tavern across from PNC Park is Pittsburgh's home for steak on a stone. So the lead topic today, something I want to get into, has been on my mind for a little bit, development. That's big picture, right? But what the Pirates and other teams are doing to complete development from AAA to the major leagues. And I think here it's very easy, common, whatever, to look at Henry Davis, Jack Suwinski, and get kind of upset. And it's been a rub against the Pirates for a number of years that they haven't been able to complete players' development. And it's true. I'm not defending them. I'm not saying that it isn't, or I'm not saying that it's not an important part of what they're doing. It is. But the problem is not just with them. We're seeing across Major League Baseball this becoming a pretty pronounced issue where young guys are not contributing as consistently as you might like right away. We know that baseball, like most professional sports, it's cyclical. You can go this direction for a number of years, then somebody else does this and they do it well, and then everybody bounces over here and whatever. But I'm sort of fascinated by some of the names. MLB put something like this out over the weekend, young guys who've struggled. Jackson Chorio, Wyatt Langford, Evan Carter, Jackson Holliday, Corbin Carroll, Spencer Torkelson. Some have experienced time in the minor leagues. Torkelson's there now. Just significant regression. Evan Carter is hurt. But really young players who were thought of as the future of this game and probably still are. Certainly. It's not a criticism of them, but it's just showing how difficult this is. And I think there's something there that's going on with baseball, society, whatever. I don't know if it's immediate gratification, but the time in AAA is so short anymore. And we're seeing that in Pittsburgh. And that's one of the things that, to me, sort of marks what they've done with Henry Davis, what they've done with Jack Suwinski. We're seeing struggles at the major league level. Frankly, Suwinski at one point, I think, was like 3 for 15 with 9 strikeouts since returning. And I'd argue that they probably rushed him out of need. And I don't know why this is happening so consistently. Again, not just in Pittsburgh, but everywhere. I am going to use some Pittsburgh numbers, though, to illustrate what I'm talking about. One, if you look at Andrew McCutchen, who I think is a great comp from a few years ago, 881 plate appearances in AAA. Henry Davis, 164. Suwinski, 159. Jared Triolo, 226. Compare them. Kutch, 881. Those three combined, 554. So you're seeing guys who don't have the pedigree that Kutch did. I mean, Henry might, at least in terms of draft, where they were taken, etc., get to the big leagues way faster. Why? Major league need? Are they more ready? Is it the proliferation of technology? I'm not sure. I don't know if anybody knows. But we talk on the pitching side a lot about how to handle arm issues, what's wrong with pitchers getting Tommy John and elbow, this, that, and the other, which, again, is a completely good, fair topic. With position players, it's kind of this, frankly, that you're not getting guys to complete their development, and you're probably under a lot of pressure from fans to rush them. I think if the Pirates had their druthers, they would probably keep those guys in the minor leagues for much longer. But I also understand the fan side of it, where you're saying we're in the middle of a rebuild. This guy's putting up monster numbers. We're keeping track of it with social media and, videos online. And, oh my gosh, he did this. It's the greatest thing. And you have to get him up here. And so they get a bunch of pressure to get him up here. And frankly, if you're in the middle of a rebuild and you have a talented prospect, yeah, he probably can help. But you're throwing him in there so quickly, and this is hard. It's another thing that was this was a line of questioning for Derek Shelton and Ben Cherington over the weekend. And one of the things that Shelton said, and he always says this when you ask a question of this variety, is the big leagues are hard. And he's right. I don't disagree with that. But a lot of times in the past, you would wait and wait and wait and realize that it takes a long time for guys to come up here and contribute. It's just one little minor thing that is different in baseball today. All right, other topics. I'm not of the mind or not that upset that the Pirates basically ran out of relief pitching over the weekend. We knew this. Their bullpen is not deep enough. I've said this on here and other places, and this is the byproduct of it. They've played a couple close games, and they had 4 guys down on Sunday. I don't like that, but that's not outside the norm for Major League Baseball. It's a long season, I guess. I mean, I come back to the guy you put on the mound needs to pitch better. How about Ben Heller? He can't be in there if that's what he's going to do. Is my answer Jose Hernandez? Is my answer Connor Sadzeck from AAA? I mean, I feel like we're kind of splitting hairs at that point. The guy on the mound needs to pitch better. You need to have a deeper bullpen. And if that's if that means we have Bednar, Chapman, Holderman, Luis Ortiz has been very good, but he threw 4 1/3 innings in a bullpen game, which do we want to criticize not having a starter and having to use a bullpen game? I don't hate that approach of bullpenning it. I think that was their best option to win that game on Saturday. What it tells me is that big picture wise, their pitching staff is not deep enough. So the good part is the trade deadline is, still 6 or 7 weeks away. There's an opportunity to get deeper. So you still took 2 or 3 from the Twins. You still took 2 or 3 from the Dodgers. Let's step back and realize the bullpen just doesn't have enough. And I wrote this in the column on Cherington on Sunday morning, that one of the things they need to be aware of is bullpen depth. And if you're down Bednar, if you're down Chapman, if you're down Holderman, Chapman pitched, but the other 2 were down because I think they had thrown 4 or 5 or 5 of 6 days or whatever. You need another arm in there that's not Ben Heller. So, no, it's not great that they lost this game, but by and large, they're playing better, more repeatable baseball. The offense, again, if you look back to May 11th, which is basically a month in now, our month into that stretch, it's been 6th in runs, 5th in runs, somewhere in that range. I mean, that's going to play. Also like what I saw from Rowdy Tellez over the weekend, have a column online about him and a youth coach that he knew or has known. Some interesting stuff there, unique personalities. Guy's name is D. Brown. And I talked to Rowdy afterward about who D. Brown is, how D. Brown helped him. But Rowdy described for me in some typical Rowdy terms just how sort of honest he was with himself. And he said, I needed to, take a step back or take a bus back or a flight back or something. There was a good quote in there. But D. Brown was a part of that. And I kind of got into that relationship and what that means. So hope you'll check that out. Want to finish with a couple of Steelers points. There's minicamp at the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex this week, Tuesday through Thursday. The first required activity of the offseason, although OTAs are obviously well attended. Some stuff to monitor there. I've been going on and on about the wide receiver situation or even the quarterbacks. I think you can glean a little bit more from mandatory minicamp. Some of the stuff I'm going to be looking at, I mean, the offensive line is still something that is on my brain, but I'm not going to list that as one of the top things just because I haven't gotten to what I want to talk about here. And I might get a little bit more in depth in these things as I head over to the South Side this week. But their middle linebackers intrigue me. Patrick Queen has been vocal. He's been involved. Obviously, you know him from his Ravens days. I love the signing. I want to see it in a more formal team setting. Peyton Wilson, Landon Roberts. This was a group that became a revolving door last season. And, knock on some wood for their sake, it doesn't look to be that way this year. I think Peyton Wilson was maybe the steal of the draft if he can stay healthy. He has looked very good at OTAs, and just want to see maybe how they rotate those guys, how that looks in a team setting, etc. Late in OTAs, the Steelers added Cam Sutton. We'll leave the other stuff out of it. I got into this previously, but how that fits in the defensive backfield, what Sutton is doing. If they go 11 on 11, what sort of effect does he have? Obviously, somebody that can help them from a football standpoint. I think they're going to absorb a suspension. I don't see how he's not, but I also see him playing a prominent role in the secondary. If you look at Joey Porter Jr., Dante Jackson on the other side, somebody needs to work in the slot. To this point, maybe it was Beanie Bishop prior to Cam Sutton. I think Cam Sutton takes that role, and they maybe bounce him around a lot did like his versatility in his first round with the Steelers. So be interesting to see what he does. The last part is Najee Harris. He's looked slim, trim, much better. Not that he needed to look better. I mean, I have no problem with Najee's physique prior, but I mean, he looks chiseled, looks very good. Obviously, OTAs is giving us a limited window. He has not talked. I think that's something on the docket for Tuesday, if not, definitely happening at minicamp. He's required to talk. So I'll be interested to hear what he says about not having his fifth-year option picked up, about the role that he will have in Arthur Smith's offense, and a bunch of other things. So I'll talk to you from over there. That does it for me today. Make sure you like and subscribe and get all of the content from me and our other Post-Gazette writers. Love doing these. And we'll be back tomorrow about the same time and certainly the same place. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.